Well, I met Glen in 1967. He was chief resident at the old Minneapolis General Hospital, became Hennepin County Medical Center, and I had a chance to observe him in surgical grand rounds down there. I was a young attending surgeon at the time, and I recognized that this was a pretty unique person with some incredible talent.
I first got to interact with Glen when he was a member of the board, and it was probably in the early 80s that I first met him. Then when he joined the company, I started reporting to him. So from a standpoint of Medtronic, it was probably a 15 to 18-year relationship.
I started working with Glen in 1989. I retired from Medtronic in 2002, but of course we've continued to work closely together ever since on a number of things.
I remember this so vividly. At the end I said, "So Dr. Nelson, I know you think I'm here today to ask you to invest in this company, but I'm not. I'm here to ask you to join and chair our board." Because he was so enthusiastic about the concept, and he resonated to applying manufacturing best practices to healthcare. He understood the whole concept so quickly, and he had so much energy around it, and passion, and obviously intellect and knowledge of the healthcare sector, that I thought it would just be amazing. And within a few days he said yes.
So I've worked with Glen for 25 or 30 years, and he has always been a tremendous mentor to me, providing me with advice and good judgment over the years. Probably more than anything, Glen is just a really good friend, and I think he's someone for me who has had a profound influence on my life, both professionally and personally. And Glen, in my view, he sets the standard. He sets the standard in medical technology and in leadership and in innovation.
You know, at our outfit, when we're faced with a novel or complex problem, the mantra is, ask Glen Nelson.
I first met Dr. Nelson through my interaction with the Carlson Board of Directors. And of course, he has a family relationship to that board, but he also has great strategic vision. I remember Dr. Nelson always saying to us, skate to where the puck is going, as made famous by Wayne Gretzky. And he was vigilant in always trying to make sure that we were making the right strategic moves as an organization.
I asked him to come on the Minnesota Public Radio Board and the American Public Media Board, which is all part of the same organization. Came on as board member. After a few years, he was asked to be chairman of the board, and he's now a life director, which is a role that we rarely give out, but the life directors are people that have made extraordinary contributions. And Glen looked at it. It was really interesting. Glen came in as chairman, and he said, well, this is a nonprofit, but it's no different than any other corporation. It's just doing things for the public benefit. So let's run it the way we run a good company. And he was constantly asking, how could we make this more efficient? Or why can't we do that? You know, I love the why can't we do that, because we all knew why we couldn't do it until we had to explain why we couldn't do it, and then oftentimes you'd realize you actually could do it. Glen's the kind of person that draws that out of you.
Glen has an extraordinary vision, and during our discussions we'll talk about little elements of the clinical or of a regulatory aspect, but he's always able to bring it up to a much higher level and see the vision where we're going how many years out from now, and talking about how the decisions we make today are going to have a profound effect years down the road. And it always took me a little while to sit back and think about what it is that how he's thinking through that. But he's always right, and he just has an uncanny ability to really see how people are going to react 2, 3, 4 years down the road. Inspire's been around for 7 years as a separate company. I have a direct experience to see that vision from 7 years back. and he's already thinking 3 more years ahead. So it's a very exciting thing to observe and witness with Glen.
To me, it doesn't matter who you are professionally, what you have materially, it's how you are to people, regardless of where they come from, what they do. And that's something about Glen that's pretty cool, is it doesn't matter where you fit in the different strata. It's, are you smart? Are you hardworking? And do you have something that's good? And I think that's how he operates, and I was lucky enough to be part of that.
With enough data or a little bit of analysis, Dr. Nelson will take a risk on solving a big problem.
The interesting thing is very few people understand how medicine and technology come together. They're great doctors, they're great technologies, but it's that insight to know that something in purely an experimental phase is going to work out and be a brilliant change in medical therapy and change the course of lives for hundreds of thousands, millions of patients.
Glen, as I think most people know, always liked a good joke and was always able to tell a good joke. So he was hard to keep up with, I think, in that regard, because he has a delightful sense of humor and was always a very fun person to be around. We really missed him when he left our surgery department.
Although he looked very serious, he had this phenomenally dry and sometimes off-color sense of humor. And so I remember the management retreats where he and John Meslow would do Ole and Lena jokes.
Glen is one of the funniest people you'll really ever work with. And you know, I can't possibly do it justice, but with the help of Ole and Sven, Glen has kept many audiences on their toes and has kept them laughing for quite some time. Now I should point out that on occasion Ole and Sven have gone in places that maybe they shouldn't have, and that's occasionally got Glen in a little bit of trouble. But he's always used Ole and Sven as a means of keeping everyone calm and focused on the job at hand. So it's been great.
I think I've heard that put the potato in the front of the shorts I don't know how many times now.
I mean, a lot of people think he's super serious all the time. And then he'll throw out a joke and everyone's like, did he just say that?
Do you remember, you were at that dinner with the Chateau de Yquem?
Yes.
I can't tell that story.
I'll say it better than Scott though. Don't put that in it.
I think Glen never intended to offend, but the jokes were funny.
This is a guy who went to Harvard, so he's smart, was one of the key players in the Harvard football team, so he's athletic, he knows the leadership skills. And I found the other day that my grandson, who's 17, is out racing hydroplanes. Then I find out that Glen, who if you reverse those digits in age, is out racing hydroplanes. And you think, you know, who is this guy? I mean, I thought he was shy.
Glen was good at a number of things. He was a superb surgeon, a superb technical surgeon, and he could have made a wonderful career just practicing surgery. In some ways, I thought it was something that he might not want to give up because he clearly enjoyed it greatly. But I think his talents were used for a much greater purpose in his leadership role and his ability to have the kind of vision that he has and had in order to move things forward.
One thing I admire particularly about Glen, how he just keeps going. At one time I counted 13 boards he was on, and he's a great mentor to these young entrepreneurs. He's really helped them a lot.
The Hennepin County Medical Society, with its fledgling HMO, was having a terrible time. So we asked Glen if Rich Burke might be a good helper for them. Glen thought Rich was really very, very capable, but might be a little tough for him. Rich took the job, solved the problem, and went on to found United Healthcare.
So he had a phenomenal ability to manage by asking questions and having you formulate a better decision and a better strategy than without his inputs. And he did this consistently.
Well, you have to be on your toes when you work with Glen. He is a tough taskmaster, and he demands that you consider all the alternatives, that you think about the consequences of your decisions. He sometimes refers to it as playing war games, to make sure that we have appropriately thought through both the alternatives available as well as the consequences. But in that regard, he makes us all better by both the vigilance that he applies to the work as well as the rigor around the questions that he asks and the high level of excellence that he requires.
So one of the things that I've always really respected in Glen, and he's just this study of contrast, right? Glen is, on the one hand, he's very intense. He's very focused on developing new therapies and new products that'll help patients. And on the other hand, Glen can be a very gentle and humble leader who will take the time and work with teams and work with individuals to help them better develop their ideas.
He's a man, I think, of just amazing polarities. So unique. I mean, he's very wise and brilliant, but he's also very funny and down to earth, which you'd never imagine if you read his CV. I mean, you just wouldn't imagine somebody with his accomplishments would be that way, and he worked with us a day every week.
Medtronic had a great run back to Win Wallen from 1985 through 1998. But in 1998, the air had gone out of the balloon. Our revenue growth was not there. Our operating guys were trying to keep the earnings up, but we were very concerned. We faced a very crucial point. A lot of people wanted to pull back into the traditional pacemaker, defibrillator, electronic company and get rid of everything else. And I could see we were really losing confidence. I went to Glen, I said, Glen, what can we do on the acquisition front to broaden the business? And we started with one small acquisition of Physio Controls, and within the space of a little over a year, we did 5 major deals and set up the sixth for a total of $13 billion. That really transformed Medtronic from what was a pacemaker company to a full MEDTECH company and the world leader in the field. At first, the stock price was so-so, but within a year and a half, it tripled in its value. And I think that was all because Glen had the courage and gave me the support to go forward with these deals and the vision to see where we could go and the opportunities we had. And so we worked together like partners throughout that and got a lot done in a short period of time. It was a very intense, but also very exciting time.
We bought a $1 million machine with Glen's approval to do 3D printing about 20 years ago. But he had the vision that that was an important technology that would help us design better products. Very few senior executives have that appreciation.
He was a mentor in many ways, and oftentimes you were able to create something or do something that you would not have tried to do otherwise. And that's the skill of a great board member.
Actually, the bottom line, the summary is that I think he walks on water. Glen was just an absolutely phenomenal boss from a number of standpoints. One is he was a great mentor. And there wasn't a day that I didn't learn something from him. And he was also the kind of person that would give you an opportunity to make a suggestion, and he would give you the latitude to run with it.
Mike Alwine was right. I have to admit that his advice on having Glen participate as chairman and giving him a piece of the pie early on to get his involvement was very important. Mike has come back and told me that is the single most valuable piece of advice he's given any medical device startup.
You know, in all the years we worked together at Medtronic, I always felt, even we would have big disagreements about things, it was okay. We were always colleagues and friends. And we could have a disagreement on, should we do this acquisition? Is this technology going to work? What do I know? But you know, we have to have those debates. But I always felt like he was there and we were colleagues. There was never any deviation from that.
He's a great leader. He is an enormous contributor to this community in ways that people have no idea. He's a world leader. You'll find Glenn at Davos, you'll find him with the great thinkers. This is a guy who has contributed so much to medical technology, to the health and welfare of people who, I think that's what really drives him.
It's really a highlight of my whole career to have known and had the opportunity to learn from Glenn.
I wish I had more friends like Glen Nelson, and I can't think of anybody who is a more appropriate recipient of a Lifetime Achievement Award.
I can't imagine anybody that would deserve it as much as he does.
Glenn, I want to congratulate you for your Lifetime Achievement Award. Obviously very deserving. It's been just a great experience for myself, having you as a mentor and a partner for over the last 20 years, working on various projects and most specifically the Inspire. So here's to your past success and here's to the success we're going to have moving forward. Thanks.
Glenn, it's a real privilege for me to congratulate you on receiving the Lifetime Achievement Award. Clearly deserved. Sincerely congratulate you on receiving this really very high honor.
Glenn, I wish I could be here today. I wish I could be in this room with the people that you've influenced over these many years. Unfortunately, I can't be here, but I'm here in spirit. I want you to know that you're being recognized because your fingerprints are on the medtech industry. Your fingerprints are on it from the standpoint of starting enterprises that have been very, very successful. But more than that, you've imparted on the industry a sense of comportment, a sense of ethics, and a sense of doing the right things. So this Lifetime Achievement Award is clearly very, very, very well received, and the best of congratulations. And thank you for helping me have a phenomenal career.
Glenn, congratulations on the MEDTECH Lifetime Achievement Award. Nobody deserves it more than you do.
Congratulations, Glenn, and thank you.
So I just want to say thank you so much from myself as well as everyone else at MyMeds, who we're just so proud that you've won this award, but also to be associated with you and know you as well as we do. So thanks.
So Glenn, on behalf of all of the leaders that you've influenced and really all of these patients around the world that you have served, congratulations on a job well done. Thank you for your mentorship. Thank you for your good guidance and your friendship over the years, and congratulations.
Glenn, congratulations on this award. If there's anyone in this industry that's deserved the MEDTECH Lifetime Achievement Award, it's you. You've done so much for this industry and everyone in the industry, not just Medtronic, but all the venture capitalists and all the entrepreneurs starting up their businesses. I congratulate you on this and think that after this there should never be another award, because they'll never come up with another Glen Nelson to receive it.
I'd like to say thank you. I've heard both him and Marilyn say often, to whom much is given, much is expected, and I think he's more than fulfilled that promise.